Something is happening right now in the laptop market that is costing ordinary people hundreds of dollars they do not need to spend. And the companies responsible for it are counting on you not knowing what is actually going on. Walk into any electronics store today, open any laptop retailer's website. What you will see, plastered across every product page, pushed by every sales associate, featured in every advertisement, is the same two words, AI PC. It is the hottest marketing label in consumer technology right now. Microsoft is pushing it, Dell is pushing it, HP, Lenovo, Samsung, and every other manufacturer with a laptop to sell is pushing it hard. The pitch is simple and seductive. The old way of computing is over. The future is here. Artificial intelligence is built into the hardware itself now. You need one of these machines. You need it now. And I am here to tell you clearly and directly, do not buy one yet. Not because AI PCs are a fraud, not because the technology is fake, but because what you are actually getting right now in 2026 versus what you are being charged for it, and versus what is coming in the very near future if you just wait, is a gap that is so significant that spending your money today is, for most people, genuinely the wrong financial decision. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what is real and what is marketing spin in the AI PC category, what these machines can actually do today versus what they have been promising for 2 years, what the real price premium looks like in cold numbers, and most importantly, what is coming in the next 12 to 18 months that makes waiting the smarter move for anyone who is not a tech enthusiast with money to burn. Let us start from the very beginning, because before we can talk about whether an AI PC is worth buying, we need to understand what the term actually means. And this is already where things get complicated, because Microsoft has created a situation where the phrase AI PC means two completely different things depending on who is saying it and in what context. And that confusion is not accidental. On one hand, Microsoft has publicly stated that every Windows 11 PC is now an AI PC. Every single one. A 5-year-old laptop running Windows 11 is, according to Microsoft's marketing messaging, an AI PC. The reasoning is that Windows 11 has AI features built into it, including the cloud-based version of Copilot that runs on any machine with an internet connection. Therefore, any machine running Windows 11 is technically an AI PC under this definition. On the other hand, Microsoft also has a specific hardware certification called Copilot Plus. This is the premium tier, the one all the advertising is actually about, the one driving the price increases you see in stores. Copilot Plus PC is a machine that contains a specialized chip called a neural processing unit, or NPU, that can perform at least 40 trillion operations per second. That threshold is written as 40 TOPS, which stands for trillions of operations per second. To achieve the Copilot Plus certification, the machine also needs a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. This is the hardware standard that unlocks Microsoft's most advanced AI features, the ones that run locally on your device rather than in the cloud, without requiring an internet connection for every query. So you have two definitions running simultaneously in the market. Every Windows 11 machine is an AI PC, but only machines with a 40 TOPS NPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the full Copilot Plus certification are the AI PCs that all the advertising is actually selling you on if you are shopping in a store and a salesperson tells you the laptop you are looking at is an AI PC. They could mean either thing, and the distinction matters enormously for how much you are being asked to pay. This messaging confusion is not a mistake. It is a strategy. And analysts who cover the PC market have said so directly. One industry watcher put it plainly: the clash between Microsoft saying every Windows 11 PC is an AI PC, while simultaneously hardware gating its best features behind a premium certified TIER, creates what she called expectation and procurement friction. Users who read that every Windows 11 PC is an AI PC may expect instant local image generation or robust offline transcription, only to find those experiences are degraded or entirely cloud dependent on the machine they actually bought. That is a setup for disappointment, and the people selling these laptops are aware of it. Now let us talk about what the Copilot Plus machines are actually charging you for this technology, because the numbers here are where the story becomes genuinely difficult to defend. Distributor data tracked across European markets in the final quarter of 2024 confirmed that Copilot Plus PCs were priced 57% higher than the average notebook price in the same period. 57%. The average laptop was selling for the equivalent of around $712. The average Copilot Plus PC was selling for around $1,160. That is a $450 premium to have the NPU chip and the Copilot Plus certification badge. And this was after manufacturers had already cut prices by 10% in a deliberate attempt to stimulate demand that was not materializing at the original prices. They cut prices by 10% specifically to try to get people to buy them, and even with that cut, the machines were still selling 57% above the market average. Entry-level Copilot Plus laptops in the United States started at around $1,000 at launch. Not the mid-range, not the premium, the entry-level. The cheapest Copilot Plus machine you could buy was $1,000 when these products hit the market in mid-2024. And analysts at PC World documented that getting much below that price point for any length of time was nearly impossible through normal retail. The natural question is, what do you get for that $450 premium? What does the NPU chip actually do for you in the real world today? And this is where the honest answer becomes very uncomfortable for Microsoft and the PC manufacturers, because the truthful response in early 2026 is not that much yet. Let me be precise about this, because I want to be fair. There are things the NPU does well right now. Windows Studio Effects is a set of AI-powered webcam and microphone tools, background blur in video calls, automatic framing that keeps you centered in the shot as you move around, a feature called eye contact that digitally adjusts your gaze to look directly at the camera even when you are looking at your screen, and voice focus that filters out background noise from your microphone. These features work, and they work well. People who spend a lot of time on video calls appreciate them. They run on the NPU, rather than eating into your CPU or GPU resources, which means they do not slow down whatever else you are working on simultaneously. Live Captions has been expanded and now supports real-time translation for audio in additional languages offline, meaning you can watch a video in a foreign language and get translated captions without sending the audio to the cloud. This is genuinely useful for certain people. And there are some creative tools, image generation features in Microsoft Paint using a system called Co-Creator. Also certain AI-powered eraser tools in the Photos app that can remove objects from images, that use the NPU for faster performance. These features work. They are real. I'm not dismissing them, but I want you to sit with this question seriously. Is a background blur on video calls, an AI-powered eraser in the Photos app, and offline translated captions worth a $450 premium over a standard laptop that does everything else just as well? For the vast majority of people who primarily browse the web, write documents, watch videos, manage spreadsheets, and send emails, the honest answer is no. These features do not justify the cost difference for ordinary use cases. And this is not just my personal opinion. It is the conclusion being reached by some of the most respected technology journalists and analysts who cover this space. Windows Central, one of the oldest and most credible Windows-focused publications in the world, published a detailed analysis in January 2026 with a title that said, "Everything. The AI PC needed a reason to exist, and running on features a year old was not the way to sell it." The article noted that the AI features in Copilot Plus PCs in early 2026 were largely the same ones that had been announced at launch in mid-2024. New NPU accelerated features had barely materialized in the 18 months since launch. The publication used a striking comparison, warning that 2026 could be remembered as the year the AI PC joined Windows RT in the graveyard of good ideas, referencing Microsoft's previous failed hardware platform that was discontinued after poor adoption. That comparison, from a publication that covers Microsoft favorably and seriously, tells you something important about the mood among informed observers. The sales data tells the same story. In Europe, in the fourth quarter of 2024, 40% of laptops sold were categorized as AI capable, meaning they had some form of NPU hardware on board. But of those AI capable laptops, only 5% were specifically Copilot Plus certified. Consumers were not choosing the premium tier. They were buying machines that happened to have an NPU because manufacturers were putting NPUs in everything across their product lines, not because buyers were seeking out the AI PC experience specifically. An analyst who tracked this data put it bluntly: manufacturers are embedding AI functionality into more devices, making AI PCs an inevitability rather than a choice for many buyers. But this does not mean consumers are actively seeking these features. One of the most widely anticipated features that was supposed to be the flagship selling point of Copilot Plus PCs was something called Recall. Microsoft announced Recall with enormous fanfare in May 2024 as the centerpiece of the entire AI PC launch. The concept was genuinely interesting. Recall takes a screenshot of your screen every few seconds, builds a searchable index of everything you have ever done on your computer, and then lets you search through your own computing history using plain language. You could ask it to find that recipe you were looking at 3 weeks ago, or find the document you were editing on Tuesday afternoon, or find the email where someone mentioned a specific project. Your computer becomes a searchable record of everything you have ever done on it. The immediate and intense backlash was about privacy. Security researchers pointed out within days of the announcement that storing a continuous screenshot record of everything you do on your computer, including banking sessions, private messages, medical searches, passwords typed in visible fields, created an enormous security risk. If that data was not perfectly protected, it was a treasure trove for anyone who gained unauthorized access to the machine. Microsoft insisted the data was encrypted and stored locally only, never sent to their servers. But the backlash was severe enough that Microsoft was forced to pull the feature back, delay it repeatedly, make it opt-in rather than opt-in by default, and push it through testing phases rather than shipping it to all users. Recall is still not widely available to all Copilot Plus PC users in early 2026. The feature that was the headline selling point of the entire AI PC category, the one that justified the premium price, the one that appeared in every advertisement, the one that Microsoft put front and center at their launch event, is still being carefully rolled out in a limited preview, for nearly 2 years after it was announced. Early users in the testing program have reported positive experiences with a revised, more privacy-conscious version. But the fact remains that the marquee feature of the category is still not fully deployed on the hardware that was sold specifically to support it. Another early buyer experience worth discussing is the ARM architecture issue. The first wave of Copilot Plus PCs, and still the majority of them in the market, use processors based on ARM architecture from Qualcomm, specifically the Snapdragon X Elite and Snapdragon X Plus chips. ARM is a different processor architecture than the x86 chips from Intel and AMD that Windows has been built on for decades. ARM chips offer excellent battery life and NPU performance, and Microsoft designed Windows to run on them. But the software ecosystem for Windows on ARM has compatibility gaps that early adopters ran into quickly and sometimes frustratingly. Certain VPN clients were not available natively for Windows on ARM and had to run through an emulation layer. Some specialized professional tools, business software, and games that relied on x86 specific code did not work at all or worked with reduced performance. One developer, who was among the first to get a Snapdragon-based Copilot Plus PC, described the experience in detail. His VPN and a couple of other programs were not yet available natively for Windows on ARM. They installed and ran fine under emulation. But the fact that you needed to know to check for these issues and to understand what emulation meant for performance was not something ordinary buyers would have been prepared for. Microsoft and Qualcomm have worked hard to improve the situation throughout 2025, and the ARM compatibility landscape is meaningfully better now than it was at launch. More applications have released native ARM versions. The emulation layer for x86 apps has been improved. But for business buyers in particular, where specific mission-critical software needs to run without issues, the compatibility questions still create hesitation. An industry analyst who tracks business PC purchases noted that Qualcomm's Snapdragon chips still present software compatibility challenges in the enterprise space, which is one reason Microsoft is now turning its attention toward enterprise buyers while struggling to close the sale with consumers who have done their research. Intel and AMD have both since released their own Copilot Plus certified chips, the Intel Core Ultra 200V series and AMD Ryzen AI 300 series, that use traditional x86 architecture, which eliminates the ARM compatibility problem entirely. These chips have NPUs capable of meeting the 40 TOPS requirement while running all the existing Windows software that has worked on Intel and AMD processors for years. At MWC 2026, AMD revealed its new Ryzen AI 400 series for desktop PCs with an NPU rated at 50 TOPS, further expanding the category into desktop computers. The expansion to x86 is genuinely good news for the AI PC category going forward, but it also highlights the reality that the first generation of these products launched with a meaningful software compromise that buyers were not always clearly told about. Here is the part of this conversation that I think deserves the most careful attention, because it is the part most relevant to the decision you're probably trying to make right now. Even setting aside the current features, even setting aside the ARM compatibility history, even setting aside Recall's delayed rollout, there's a structural financial problem with the Copilot Plus PC category that has nothing to do with any of this. It has to do with the ongoing subscription cost that the advertising almost never mentions clearly. Buying a Copilot Plus PC gets you the hardware NPU and a set of local features that run on it for free. The background blur, the live captions, the image tools in Paint and Photos, those are included. No ongoing subscription required for those specific features. This is what Microsoft means when it says the hardware features are free. And that is accurate. But the features that most people are actually imagining when they see the Copilot advertising, the deep AI integration in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, the ability to have Copilot summarize your emails in Outlook, the ability to have the AI understand your documents and data and provide meaningful analysis, Those require a paid subscription. The deep integration with Microsoft 365 apps requires Copilot Pro, which is now incorporated into Microsoft 365 Premium, priced at approximately $19.99 per month for individual users. For business users, the Copilot for Microsoft 365 tier costs $30 per user per month as an add-on. And this is on top of, not instead of, the existing Microsoft 365 business license that already costs between $12 and $57 per user per month depending on tier. The total per user per month cost for a business that wants the full Copilot experience can be anywhere from $42 to $87 per month per employee. So you paid the premium for the hardware. You are paying the premium for the software subscription. And the most frequently advertised AI productivity features, the ones that appear in the commercials showing Copilot writing your emails and summarizing your documents, require the subscription to work, regardless of what NPU is in your machine. The hardware NPU does not eliminate the subscription requirement. It runs local inference for certain specific features. The cloud-based Copilot in your applications still requires the cloud. The cloud still requires payment. This is not hidden information. It is in Microsoft's documentation if you look for it. But it is not what you see in the advertisements. And one of the most consistent complaints from people who bought Copilot Plus PCs in 2024 and 2025 was precisely this. They paid a significant premium for the hardware expecting to unlock the AI capabilities they had seen advertised, and then discovered that the most compelling features required an additional monthly subscription on top of what they had already spent. Reddit discussions and social media posts from October 2025 showed users expressing frustration with exactly this pattern, asking repeatedly why a machine they had paid a premium for was still requiring them to subscribe for the features they had bought it for. Now, I want to talk about why I'm waiting, specifically, and not just skeptical, because my position is not that AI PCs will never be worth buying. My position is that they are not worth buying right now for most people, and that waiting has a concrete payoff. The AI PC category is young. These machines launched in mid-2024. The software ecosystem is still catching up to the hardware, while developers are only beginning to optimize their applications specifically for NPU acceleration. An analyst firm tracking application development confirmed that over 200 professional applications were adding NPU support in 2026 alone, meaning the software that actually uses the hardware you would be paying for is still being written. You would be buying the hardware before the software that justifies it exists in full. The second generation of these chips will be meaningfully more capable. Qualcomm has already previewed its next Snapdragon X Elite successor. Intel and AMD are developing their next generation NPU architectures. The 40 TOPS threshold that defines the current Copilot Plus certification will be routine in second-generation chips, meaning machines that hit it will cost less, and the premium tier will be doing far more than 40 TOPS. Buying now means buying at the beginning of the performance curve, where you pay the most for the least. The prices will come down substantially. Every technology category follows this pattern. The first generation of any significant new hardware sells at a premium because the e-manufacturing is new, the supply chains are optimized for volume of one rather than the massive scale that comes later, and the manufacturers know that early adopters will pay more. When Qualcomm announced the next tier down from the Snapdragon X Elite, a cheaper chip designed to bring Copilot Plus to the $600 laptop price point, that was the signal that the premium pricing era for this category is already ending. By the end of 2026, machines that meet or exceed the current Copilot Plus specification will be available at prices that look nothing like the current $1,000 entry point. Recall will be fully deployed. The ARM compatibility gaps will be closed or eliminated by wider x86 NPU availability. The third-party software that actually uses the NPU for meaningful everyday tasks will have shipped. The subscription pricing will likely be adjusted as competition increases. The entire landscape of what you get for your money will be better in 12 months than it is today. Buying an AI PC in early 2026 means paying a 57% premium for hardware that is underutilized by current software, that has its most advertised feature still in limited availability, that is paired with a subscription cost that most buyers do not fully understand until after the purchase, and that will be available at a much lower price point in the not very distant future. That is not a good deal. It is a great deal for Microsoft, for Qualcomm, for Dell, and for every other company collecting that premium. It is not a great deal for you. So here is what I would actually tell someone who is sitting in front of a laptop store today trying to make a decision. If your current machine works, if it does what you need it to do and you have no pressing hardware failure forcing an upgrade, wait. Give this category at least 12 more months. Let the software ecosystem catch up to the hardware. Let the second generation chips arrive and let the prices adjust. You will get more for less, and the features will actually be ready to use. If you genuinely need a new laptop right now, today, because your current machine is broken or genuinely inadequate for your work, then look at the x86-based Copilot Plus machines from Intel and AMD. The Intel Core Ultra 200V and AMD Ryzen AI 300 series give you the NPU capabilities without the ARM compatibility concerns, and they are increasingly available in machines that approach the mainstream price range. If you find one at a reasonable price, you're getting hardware that will support the full feature set as the software catches up. But do not buy one specifically for the AI features as they stand today. Buy it as a laptop that happens to have a good NPU on board for when the software gets there. And if your budget is genuinely limited, if you are looking at the $1,000 entry point for Copilot Plus and feeling the stretch, buy a standard laptop in the $600 to $700 range with a good processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and an SSD. That machine will do everything you actually need today, and it will serve you well. The AI PC Premium, at current prices and current software readiness, is not worth the stretch for a budget-conscious buyer. Here's the bigger picture I want to leave you with, because this story is about more than just one product category decision. It is about a pattern that the technology industry runs repeatedly, and understanding it protects your money every time. The pattern works like this. A company or an industry identifies a new technology capability that is genuinely interesting and genuinely has potential. They build hardware around it. They attach a marketing label to it. They price it at a significant premium. They advertise the vision, the future state of what this technology will eventually enable, rather than the present state of what it actually does today. They count on a combination of early adopter enthusiasm, fear of missing out, and the fundamental human tendency to trust advertising, to move product at premium prices before the category has matured to the point where the premium is justified. This is exactly what happened with 3D televisions in the early 2010s. The technology was real. Glasses-free 3D was coming. The immersive experience was genuinely compelling in demo conditions. Manufacturers charged a premium for 3D-capable TVs. Consumers bought them at that premium. And then the software, the content, the experience, the reason you paid extra, never showed up in the volume or quality that justified the purchase. By 2017, almost every major TV manufacturer had quietly abandoned 3D. People who paid the premium in 2012 got nothing they paid for. The AI PC category is not 3D television. I'm not predicting it will fail. The NPU architecture is sound, the battery life benefits are real on ARM machines, the local inference capabilities are genuinely valuable for certain workloads, and the trajectory of application support is positive. This category will mature. The features will arrive. The price will become reasonable relative to the value delivered. This is a bet that I believe will eventually pay off, but eventually is not now. And now is when the stores want your money. The honest evaluation of where AI PCs stand in early 2026 is this. The hardware exists, the chip performs, as advertised in the narrow set of tasks it has been given so far. The battery life on ARM machines is genuinely excellent, and the future roadmap is real. Against that, the premium is 57% above a standard laptop. The flagship feature spent 18 months in delay due to privacy controversy. The software ecosystem is still building out. The subscription costs are not clearly communicated at point of sale. And the second generation of hardware that will offer more for less is already in development and arriving within the year. Waiting is not giving up on technology. Waiting is not being a Luddite or a skeptic or someone who does not understand the future. Waiting, when the math does not work in your favor today, is simply the smart financial decision. Let the early adopters spend their money, surface the software problems, push the manufacturers to improve the value proposition, and bring prices down through volume. Then, when the features match the price and the price matches the value, you buy in at the right time rather than the most expensive time. I am waiting. And based on everything I have just walked you through, I think you should too. The video that follows this one is going to go deeper on exactly what the second generation AI PC landscape looks like, which chips are coming, what the price curve is going to look like through the rest of 2026, and what the specific features are that will finally make this premium worth paying when the time actually comes. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you see it the moment it goes live, because that is the video that will tell you when to actually pull the trigger.